Once upon a time, in a small southern town, there were two best friends named Sarah and Jacob. Sarah had skin like warm cocoa, and Jacob's was the color of pale sand. They didn't care about the color of their skin, they just loved playing tag, picking wildflowers, and pretending to be explorers. One summer, their favorite thing to do was visit the town's soda shop. It had the sweetest root beer floats and the crunchiest ice cream cones. They'd sit at the shiny counter and giggle as they slurped their drinks. But one day, when they ran to the shop, something was different. A new sign hung in the window. It read, "Whites only." Sarah stopped in her tracks. "What does that mean?" she asked. Jacob frowned. He didn't know either, so they went inside to ask. The shopkeeper, Mr. James, stood behind the counter. He looked at Sarah and said, "Sorry, little lady. You can't sit here anymore." Sarah's eyes widened. "Why not?" Mr. James scratched his head awkwardly. "It's just the law now," he mumbled. "People like Jacob sit here, and people like you sit over there." He pointed to a rickety bench outside, far from the counter. Sarah felt tears prick her eyes. "But we always sit together," she whispered. Jacob clenched his fists. "That's not fair." Mr. James sighed. "That's just the way things are now. It's called the Jim Crow law." Sarah and Jacob left the shop, their hearts heavy. Sarah sat on the bench outside, while Jacob sat at the counter inside. But neither of them touched their root beer floats. It didn't taste the same when they weren't together. That night, Sarah told her grandma what had happened. Grandma nodded sadly. Jim Crow laws are rules that say people with different skin colors can't share the same things. It's wrong, but some people don't see that yet. "Why would anyone make a law like that?" Sarah asked. Grandma smiled sadly. "Because they're afraid of what happens when we all sit at the same table. But one day, brave people will change those laws. Until then, we keep showing the world that love is stronger than fear." The next day, Sarah and Jacob didn't go to the soda shop. Instead, they found a shady tree in the park and shared sandwiches and laughter. As they sat together, they dreamed of a world where everyone could sit at the same table, just like they always had.